Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today is my small little haul for the insane candle deal that's going on right now, which is a free 3-wick candle with any $10 purchase, but they left the candles on sale for 10 off. So like if you get a candle for $14.50 or $16.50, you get another one for free. So it's basically a buy one, get one free deal on top of the sale price, which brings them down to like $8 or $9, which is like pretty much candle day prices, which is kind of unheard of. It's quite unprecedented for them to do that. But the caveat is that you have to place it as a BOPIS, buy online, pick up in store online order, and have access to a BOPIS store as well. And today on Saturday is the app member preview. So if you have the app on your phone and you're a rewards member, then you're able to access it today, and you're able to go into the store and do it. And you can do multiple orders as well, because I've tested it out myself. And then it opens up to like the public tomorrow for BOPIS stores again. And yeah, it's just crazy that they went from that whole like basically like $19.50 candle price that we had there for a while, so like the $29.50 and 10 off, all the way down to like $8 or $9 now. I'm not complaining though. Maybe they're just testing out different strategies on whether or not like a free candle, like free 3-wick for $10 purchase like works, or just the lower price point. I don't know, but I'm not complaining about it. Hopefully maybe this just means that they got the message that we don't care for higher prices, because who cares for higher prices? But any case, yes, so I have my small little haul there. And then I also want to take an opportunity to basically go through all the new summer candles and like review them, like as a quick like rundown video rather than individual reviews for them. I might still eventually do individual reviews, but I just haven't been in the house a lot lately. Like I still have time to burn candles, but not enough to the point where I can like set down 6 candles or whatever, 7 candles, whatever it is, and like film the footage of it and actually record it. It's just been like a crazy week. So I just haven't had the time to do that. So I'll do that just in case you're like waiting for my post-burn reviews. I have burned all of them multiple times, so I'll talk about that. I'll also talk about my few like top recommendations for this candle sale, just because it is actually quite a good sale. So if you're looking to stock up or like buy backups of anything, I'll give my recommendations on that. And then lastly, I have a very random, interesting find, which is a Mercari purchase. It's not actually for myself, it's for a friend, of a super old, rare, I think it was a test scent that I've never actually even smelled myself, but the friend really enjoyed this fragrance, and it was either for fall or winter of 2013, and it's for Cedarwood Trail. So this is the first time smelling it, and I just love old like candle finds. Like old BBW candles are so much more fun than new ones. So if you're interested in my thoughts on that, that will be at the very end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And I think that's pretty much it, so let's get into the video. So I guess I'll do the haul first to see which ones of the new ones that I bought a backup of. I technically kind of wouldn't even have needed these, but I was buying like a part 2 Mother's Day gift for my mother, and she wanted a few candles, and I was like, this is a great price, so let me pick up a few for her. So I did get her a Fresh Lemon Waves right here, which is simply excellent. This one is Summer Citrus, Orange Vanilla Blossoms, and Surfside Breeze. Very similar to Suntan, very powdery, very floral, very heavy on the neroli / orange blossom powderiness, but mixed in with a very sharp, clean lemon. Think of like Suntan or Sun-Kissed Coconut or Vanilla Beach Blossom or Vanilla Blossoms. Any of those ones where there's like a powdery floral with a little bit of sweetness, but this one has a very like sharp, intense lemon note in it as well. I think there's a lot of like not favorable reviews on this because the name is quite misleading. When you see Fresh Lemon Waves, you're gonna think maybe it's like a generic like lemon fragrance. This is actually so floral, so it's kind of like, I think they had to name it Fresh Lemon Waves to make it appeal to people who might not like floral, but at the same time they're kind of kicking themselves because people are going to order it thinking it's a generic lemon fragrance, and it actually turns out to be a more sophisticated floral fragrance. So I love it. It's a very old school BBW floral type fragrance that I adore to pieces, and so I wanted to give my mom one, and so there was Fresh Lemon Waves for that, for her there for my mother. And then I got her a Fresh Bamboo, which is already at her house. Super strong, grassy green floral fragrance. Definitely get that sort of like hyacinth bulb spring floral in there, mixed with a heavy grassiness. Super strong, super intense. It's not one that I truly love, but my mom really loves it, so she likes when it comes out. And that one doesn't come around too often, so it's like an old Slackton classic. But if you want a strong green grassy floral, then check out Fresh Bamboo. That was the other one I got for her, and that was her haul, so to speak. moving on. The two that I got that I wanted to get I really wanted to get another berry waffle cone and summer boardwalk, but I have three half-burned summer boardwalks that are kind of like duddy or icky, but they are still half-burned nonetheless in my possession. There's like, do I really need another summer boardwalk, even if it is only like $7 or $8? Probably not. And I'm always down for that BWC, for that berry waffle cone, but I also have two half-burned ones of those as well. So I'm like, do I really need another berry waffle cone? So I have resisted all urge and temptation to buy those two and left them at the store. But I was like, maybe I should take this opportunity to like stock up on some of the new fragrances, because the thing with like berry waffle cone and summer boardwalk, they're probably always going to come back every summer, knock on wood. But things like the new ones in the collection, you just don't know if they're going to do well enough. Like they have to do exceptionally well for a new fragrance to keep returning and repeating, like something like strawberry pound cake. So it's kind of like, you should maybe consider getting a backup of some of these newer fragrances that just simply aren't guaranteed to come out again. A lot of times when they do new fragrances, I think it has to have such a crazy threshold of sales that they might not actually release it for a second season. So it's kind of like, okay, let me just get it now, especially for like lower price. And if I end up growing wary or tired of these fragrances, by the time I get to the second one, then I can always exchange for pink petal tea cake or toasted pineapple marshmallow. So I just kind of locked it in there. So I did get another red, white, and blue cake. So these are the ones that I actually really enjoyed from that summer collection. And this one is red raspberries, ripe blueberries with vanilla cream and soft white cake. This one has the core wicks on it right there. And now this is kind of my review for this one as well. I've burned this one like 3 or 4 times, as you can see here. Totally fine, does not soot too much, does not burn too hot. Just excellent. This was really weird on cold. There's like a slightly sour, spoiled, off fragrance to it, but when you go to burn it, boy, is this delicious. It's basically a mix, I believe, of blueberry pie and sprinkled birthday cake, but also a tad of that cherry cheesecake frosted cake pop fragrance kind of mixed in there as well. It's kind of like if you merge all that together, that's what red, white, and blue cake is. And it's actually really scrumptious. And it's like strong enough. I would say maybe like a 6 to a 7. It's not super strong, but it's very present and very pleasant and just delicious and creamy and awesome. And that weird spoiled sour note just totally goes by the wayside, so we're good to go there. Basically, you get blueberry pie, but the brown sugar crusty note is just diluted ever so slightly, but you still get a nice bakery crusty, slightly brown sugary, flaky crust note in there. So you get blueberry pie in there for sure, but then you get sprinkled birthday cake, which is that awesome creamy berry white cake, white frosting type of fragrance that makes it even creamier. Basically like blueberry pie, like a la mode, basically like blueberry pie with like a creamy, heavy whipped cream and maybe slightly ice cream type of presence to it is kind of what I get from it. Just a very white, creamy aspect of that sprinkled birthday cake, along with that little bit of strawberry note that's in sprinkled birthday cake is in there as well. But then there's a slight tartness that I get from a cherry fragrance that I get from that cherry cheesecake or frosted cake pop, which is also a creamy cake fragrance mixed with a hint of cherry. So it's kind of like they just took blueberry pie, sprinkled birthday cake, and the cherry cheesecake and merged the three together. And it's kind of like a berry trifle type of fragrance that I guess you would eat during the summertime. And it's excellent. It's nice because it's like blueberry pie sometimes blueberry pie can be a little bit too much with that heavy brown sugar crusty note. It's like they toned that down and made it just creamier and more scrumptious. And this one doesn't have all the problematic burn issues that blueberry pie always has, where it either gets dud out and grody and murky and nasty, or overly buttery and disgusting by the mid-range point, or overly sooty and hot, such a hot burn like that original Luminary version. This kind of rounds out the edges and just makes it burn better, and I really enjoy it. So red, white, and blue cake all the way. Really enjoying that one. So I was like, yeah, I definitely need to get a backup of that one. So we did that. And I've been really enjoying chocolate chip cookie. So that was the second one that I got for my whopping 2-candle haul today. That's what that looks like right here. This one is oven baked cookies, gooey chocolate chips, and a hint of flaky salt. This one has the core wicks as well. That's what that looks like. And I'll go ahead and do my review for this. This one I've also been going to town with. It's halfway done at this point, at least 4 burns. This one is a slower burn. It doesn't make mushroom tops, and it kind of struggles to pull out, but it still pulls out nonetheless. It reminds me of some of my older berry waffle cones, where they never make a mushroom top, you never have to trim them, but they still pull out and it still throws fine, so we're good to go there. So I can't really complain about it, but a little nervous that it might truly dud out the further it goes down, because it just doesn't make a mushroom top. It doesn't have a really sturdy heavy wicks to it. But This actually smells really delicious too. It's pretty much like hot fudge sundaes, chocolate note, which I said in my previous haul video. I still stand by that. It still definitely smells like that. Mixed with like a graham crackery / cookie, like something slightly baking in the oven type of fragrance. And it really kind of smells like chocolate chip cookies that are actually baking in the oven. It does warm up a tad when you go to burn it. So it does smell a little bit more warm and oveny. Whereas I was saying on cold, it had a little bit more of a like cool, hard, like crunchiness to it that wasn't super out of the oven, but it does warm up when you go to burn it, so we're good to go there. That it gives a little bit more depth that I enjoy. But when I go to burn it, I get a heavy like brown sugar, even like a molasses and slight caramel aspect to it, like very much strongly in that sort of like bakery like component of this candle. It's kind of like the hot fudge sundae chocolate, but then like undertones of molasses, brown sugar, and caramel that give it that sort of like chocolate chip cookie, baking, ooey gooey awesomeness to it that I enjoy. It's kind of like if you once again enjoy Italy, cannoli and chocolate, very much in that route, or even chocolate grams, very much in there. But there's a slight extra depth to it that I feel like it's a little bit more than just a graham cracker and more so into a cookie territory with maybe even a little bit of butter in there as well. That's what chocolate chip cookie smells like. It's just very pleasant, awesome, and delicious. I would say maybe if it had a more vicious burn, it would probably be a little bit stronger, but I would say just like around like a 7 to 7.5 is where I rate the throw on it. And it just smells great. I just keep going to it. It's kind of like, gives me slight like berry waffle cone with chocolate vibes too, just the way that the warm crunchiness of the cookie bakery note is in there. I don't know, I just really enjoy it. So it's just an awesome like chocolate bakery fragrance. So chocolate chip cookie, I wanted to lock that in just because I didn't know if this one would come back either. They're just kind of like obscure new fragrances that I'm not confident they're all gonna return. So those are the two that I bought. So those are obviously my two recommendations from the summer collection because I like them enough to repurchase them. Moving on with the rest of the collection, we had Buttery Popcorn right here. So that was my haul. This is like the review rundown of the summer candles in case you were interested and we're waiting on like post-burn reviews. Melted butter, fresh popcorn, and sprinkle of sea salt. This one I have burned a few times. It has a thick rope-like wicks and it pulls out no problem. Actually quite lighter than I had anticipated a buttery popcorn fragrance to be. It's just more like a 6 to possibly a 5, just very medium. It smells just like heaps of just butter. Not even so much popcorn as it is just like butter. But I don't mind it, but I don't love it. Sweet kettle corn I think was definitely more of my favorite. That had an extra like salty caramel sweetness to it that just gave it a little bit more depth. I kind of wish I hadn't exchanged my second backup sweet kettle corn, but I was just like, kind of dead it out mid-range that I was just like, I don't really need another one. But I do prefer that one to this one for sure. This one's just way too buttery. And not enough of that sweet caramel action that I like from sweet kettle corn, that I wouldn't repurchase this, but it's kind of fun and novelty. It's just very much like a fun like summertime gourmand novelty fragrance. So I'm not mad at it, but not think I would repurchase. So yeah, Buttery Popcorn right there. If you want just a straight up butter fragrance, then that's for you. We have sour melon drop from this collection as well. And this one is juicy candied watermelon, sweet sour green apple, and bursting honeydew melon. That's what that looks like right there. Actually really grew to enjoy this one so much more. This one I almost contemplated getting another one, but I'm just like, watermelon and like watermelon fragrances or even honeydew fragrances aren't just like super at the top of my list. I just don't really love burning fruity all the time. But I was like, I don't think I need another SMD. But still very delicious. So strong and awesome, like 8. There's actually a slight like, I don't want to say cotton candy, but a slight like sponge sugar, like sweetness, like interlaced somewhere in between this candle that it takes it away from just being super like harsh and sour and gives it a nice fluffy sweetness. It's just oh so pleasant mixed with that like candied Jolly Rancher watermelon mixed with a awesome sweet honeydew melon fragrance, a little bit of like a sweet sugariness that once again gives it a light, just like a nice, awesome, I don't know, confectionery sweetness to it that I really enjoy. And then you do get a like candied green apple that gives it like a sour fruitiness to it as well. But while it is an artificial fragrance, it's not that grody, synthetic, nasty type of like pink apple punch, curb, escape synthetic grodiness. It's like a good, like supposed to be like a candy artificial quality to it, rather than like disgusting grody chemicals burning in your house. So really actually enjoyed this flower melon drop quite a bit. Yeah, I don't think I need another one, but I actually really enjoyed it, and it was just so strong and so pleasant that I was just like, this is actually a really great like watermelon melon candy fragrance. Just fun and novelty and just fun. Yeah, so this was good. Definitely like an 8 to maybe even an 8.5, just in the strong category for sure. So actually really enjoyed this. Just so fun to finally have new candles to burn that are actually also strong as well. Like that's all we ask for from a candle is new variety and strong. We then have Rainbow Waves from this collection, which is not too strong, so not the best on throw performance on this one. It's Sunny Sangria, Bright Melon, and Misty Waters. This one I burned twice, and that's what that looks like. It has the core wicks, and it does make the mushroom tops. Not a bad fragrance. Actually don't mind it. It is lighter, but I could still smell it adequately. Like, it was just like a 5 to a 6, very medium. It wasn't like super strong, didn't choke you out, but kind of build up on itself like as it had it going in the bedroom. That I didn't really mind that it was medium, but I think some people might prefer a stronger candle. This is very much a fruity body care fragrance where you get melon, maybe even like a little bit of like a apple and citrus, just very, very fruity blend mixed with a slight salty floral undertone. That's actually kind of pleasant, and it's just like gives it a slightly salty floral beachiness to it, and it adds a little bit of sophistication to just a regular generic run-of-the-mill fruity tropical summer fragrance that I didn't mind it, but it's not anything I need to get another one of. It's very like run-of-the-mill BBW body care fragrance, which always has its place too, but nothing that I need to get a second one of. So Rainbow Waves, just, it was all right. So that was that one right here. And I didn't get Berry Fruit Punch from that collection. And then we have the two from the Photo Label collection. You have Chocolate Banana Mudslide. I thought maybe I would like this one a little bit more. I still really enjoy it while I'm burning it, but it's just not anything I need to get a second one of. So this is frozen bananas, chocolate syrup, crushed ice, and splash of rum, and it has a thick rope-like wicks right there. That's what that looks like. Burn fine, burn super hot and sooty though, so be careful because these are those massive, thick rope-like wicks that will soak like crazy on you. But this is very, very, very reminiscent of that original coconut colada that had banana, coconut, and rum in it. And this one has banana and rum in it. And I also think there's coconut in this as well. I think this is just coconut colada with an added dash of chocolate in there to make it a chocolate banana mudslide. But if you like the OG coconut colada, not to be confused with the current coconut colada that's pineapple and coconut, then you might really enjoy this one. And I did enjoy coconut colada, but it wasn't anything I need to get a second one of. But yeah, you get a nice banana that's not that super Laffy Taffy artificial banana of banana split milkshake, but still kind of artificial because banana is really hard to replicate in fragrance or fragrance oils. But a slightly different banana that smells like sort of cool and frozen. It's a lot not as like mashy and gooey and like mayonnaisey and creamy as banana split milkshake. That is mixed with like a coconut rum note is basically what it comes off as, that it gives it a slightly tropical vibe to it. And the rum is very noticeable when you go to burn it. There's a slight like rubbing alcohol, slightly off-putting boozy component in there that gives it a slight like artificial and synthetic tinge to it, which is what I kind of don't love about it. But at least it gives it a little bit of depth to the banana in there that I don't hate on it, but it is noticeable that it's kind of little off or weird, but neither here nor there. And then there is a slight chocolate note in there to make it a little bit sweeter. And yeah, super strong, great performance and burner. Like maybe my past self that used to collect a ton of candles maybe would have got a second one of this, but I think I'm just good with one. So yeah, strong though. And if you like the fragrance on cold, just know that it has maybe a little bit more of an alcoholic note when you go to burn it, but it's still a good fragrance nonetheless. So Chocolate Banana Mudslide right there. And then we have Caramel Cream Soda, and that's what that looks like right there. But it's like totally overexposed. There we go. Let's see, Caramel Syrup, Bubbly Cream Soda, and Rich Vanilla. This is very similar to Vanilla Cola Candy, but it is actually not when you compare the two side by side. That one has a very distinctly vanilla cola, like a Coca-Cola fragrance to it, whereas this one's sweeter and has way more sweetness to it, like that like syrupy, like the sugar syrup is definitely mixed in there, mixed with a super even sweeter caramel fragrance in there and heaps of carbonation. It really just smells like a caramel cream soda as the name implies. But if you like vanilla, cola, candy, or root beer float, very much in the same fragrance family. This one's just much sweeter and more emphasis on the caramel than the other two have. This one was actually just medium. I was expecting a stronger, more explosive throw to it, but it was just 5 to 6 maybe. I could still smell it, was still present. It was really fun and novelty. It's an awesome like BBW summertime like fun novelty fragrance, but nothing I need to get another one of. But if you like this fragrance on cold, just know that's like a medium throw. But yeah, it was still a fun fragrance to burn nonetheless. So that's Caramel Cream Soda right there. And I think that's it for the new summer collection reviews that I wanted to talk about. And then for my recommendations, obviously Fresh Lemon Waves is excellent. Ice Lemon Pound Cake, I didn't need to get another one because I still have this one. This one was super excellent too, just juicy, wet, moist, awesome pound cake. You get that like white, creamy drizzle just running down the side and like getting all gooey and moist into that bouncy, fluffy lemon pound cake. Simply excellent. a good like medium plus throw. That lemon zest is just very sharp and just like in your face, and I love it. It's just an excellent lemon pound cake fragrance. Once again, I already burned through one. It was great down to the bottom, and then this one I'm just starting on that I don't need a third one, but I still highly recommend Ice Lemon Pound Cake right there. From that same collection, not my favorite, but it was just such a great performer I had to call it out, and that's Blue Sky Breeze right here. If you want a crisp, clean linen type fragrance, it's just super strong, it balls to the walls in your face, then check this one out. It's Morning Spring Air, fresh violet petals, crisp gala apples, and English ivy. You do get a slight fruitiness with a very like prominent linen clean fragrance. Burns excellent. It does suck quite a bit, but it's just so immense, like so strong. It actually gives me a headache in the bedroom, like a good 9. So if you want a strong linen fragrance that actually burns well and doesn't get like overly like murky or grody or dead out the mid-range point, then check out Blue Sky Breeze from that collection. Pink, Lilac, and Vanilla is always gonna be a top like 5 fragrance for me. Always check that one out. Super awesome, like pink, frilly, girly, feminine, floral, lilac fragrance mixed with a heap of like a vanilla blossom note in it. That's simply excellent. I just don't talk about it too much because I just have so much from the original release, but Pink, Lilac, and Vanilla is always highly recommended as well. Tea Rose. Don't sleep on Tea Rose if you like floral fragrances. Simply excellent, awesome. One of their best like rose fragrances. Super crisp, juicy rose fragrance. Yeah, that very classic floral rose fragrance. It's so awesome and crisp and perfumey and just delicious. Mixed with a slightly like herbal spa-like tea component that's very similar to the white tea and ginger candle, and like they kind of injected that with a rose fragrance. Super strong and excellent like throw and burn on this one. Tea Rose, simply excellent. It's just floral fragrances don't get released by Bath & Body Works as much as they used to, so you kind of have to like go searching and hunting for them, and Tea Rose, don't sleep on it. It's simply excellent. And then Suntan, which is out as The Perfect Summer in the red wax. It's the same fragrance. They've done it before. Like the first time The Perfect Summer came out, I think they had a sub headline of Suntan on it. So it is the same fragrance. This one's orange flower, yuzu, and coconut husk. Simply excellent. I know this one's kind of polarizing too because it is very much like a floral fragrance, but if you want just like old school classic sunscreen fragrance that evokes like, you know, going to the beach or the water park with your family or family vacations, you got to get Suntan. Simply excellent. Love this fragrance. It's like my top 5 like of all time, I think. Suntan right there. If you like fresh lemon waves, then check out this one as well. But if you don't like those type of fragrances that are like floral or sunscreen driven, then obviously don't check it out. But The Perfect Summer is in there as well. And I think that's it for all the like high praise recommendation candles that I can think of that are out right now. Yeah, Pink, Lilac, and Vanilla is always good. Fresh Cut Lilac is always a good one too. Sprinkle Birthday Cake I still very much enjoy, and then what I just talked about. Now that's out of the way, let me briefly talk about the Cedarwood Trail. So I have a candle friend who lives in Canada, so they are not able to access Mercari as readily or easily or at all like we can here in the States. So they had requested if I could purchase a candle off of Mercari on their behalf and then ship it to them in Canada. And I was like, sure, you gotta help out candle friends when the time comes. And they are somebody who like was in the golden era of BBW, like especially the test store era during like the Little Balladeer era. Oh my God, like the elusive Forest collection, test fragrances, chocolate bacon cupcake, that grand, amazing, like iconic, super rare unicorn 2012-13 like era BBW. They were very much in that, and I was like, girl, you're speaking to my candle soul when you're talking about those fragrances. So I was like, yeah, I'll help you out. So they wanted a Cedarwood Trail fragrance, which I've never actually even smelled myself, but it's from 2013. It was a test fragrance, I believe. Like Flannel came out in that collection. I think Good Natured Christmas was also in like a similar label. I never smelled this one. So they really wanted it because they loved it from when it was out back in the current time, back in 2013, and there was like very few on Mercari. And so they were like, okay, I'm just gonna pay for it. So after I do this little review bit, then it'll be going to Canada to their home. So Cedarwood Trail right here. Yeah, never smelled this. It's totally obscure. That's what that looks like. Inspired by the beauty of a forest trail at the peak of fall, the Cedarwood blend is layered with hints of neroli and soft musk. And I was like, Cedarwood Trail has a neroli note? Usually neroli is kind of associated with summer, so I was very much intrigued. And you smell it, and that's what that looks like right there. It's very strong, by the way. And I was like, this smells something I've smelled like so similar before. And it took me like a good hour of like going through all my like stash and racking my brain to finally figure out what it was. But what does it smell like before I go into that? Definitely get the cedarwood in there and neroli for sure. It's like this, the cedary, like woodsy, slightly like cedar chest type of like that slightly rustic vibe to it, mixed with like a floral, powdery, floral, which is where that neroli is coming from. And I definitely get that neroli and cedarwood is very strong, but there's a huge amber and musk presence in here that makes it more warm and drippy. And it's like very much a older, mature women's perfume fragrance is what this comes off as, which is what not at all I was expecting to see Cedarwood Trail. When you see this, I'm gonna think it's like a more masculine cedarwood type of like cologne. Not cologne, but maybe a little bit more woodsy and rustic, whereas this is a lot more sultry and like feminine than I had ever would have imagined Cedarwood Trail to be, but I'm totally grateful I could actually smell it. It's kind of in the route of like the sparkling amber, sensual amber type of fragrance, but not exactly, but somewhat in there in that terms of like mature women's fragrance. Then I was like, is it Comfort Vanilla Patchouli? This one had a very similar vibe to it, but it's not this. This one's a little bit more milky and creamy and is like distinctly missing that heavy amber presence that's in Cedarwood Trail. So it's not this, but if you like this, then you would enjoy Cedarwood Trail or vice versa, but not quite this as well. Then I was thinking, is it that old Ski Lodge, which is very similar to the Sleep Cedarwood vanilla fragrance that was out, was it last year maybe, or the year before that? There was like a Cedarwood vanilla sleep aromatherapy that's very similar to the old school Ski Lodge. And I was like, kind of similar to that too, but then it hit me. I was like, it's not even like, even in the same season, but this is what BBW does to you in terms of repackaging. And it is so immensely similar to Sunset Pier from Bath & Body Works Test Lab. I'm like, what? This is like a summer fragrance in Sunset Pier, and then this is like Cedarwood Trail. Mind you, these are not exact 100% repackages, but there was a blend in here that was so similar, that was so like, just like, jammed in my memory that I was like, I know I've smelled at least two of those notes somewhere else. And lo and behold, Sunset Pier is right here. And if you do pay attention to the notes, what does it say? Neroli blossoms, sea salted cedar, bergamot zest, and tropical coconut. So it's that same neroli and cedar blend that's in Cedarwood Trail is in here as well. They're very similar sibling fragrances, and that's definitely where I was getting the comparison. This is just a little bit more of a sultry, warmer fall version. This one's a little bit more of a brighter summer version. But yeah, it's that same exact cedarwood neroli fragrance. It has that same like mature woman's like perfume type of vibe to it. This one's a little bit brighter and slightly more tropical than Cedarwood Trail is. But yeah, that is what I was smelling. So that's kind of what Cedarwood Trail is. This one's a little bit more warmer and maybe has a little bit more of like a rustic feel than Sunset Pier does. But that's definitely where I was getting that neroli and cedarwood blend that was so distinct. So that's kind of what Cedarwood Trail smells like. If you were ever wondering, this very obscure fragrance that you probably can't even get on Mercari or eBay anymore, there's my little review on it, at least on Cold Sniff. So I'm obviously not gonna burn it because it's for the friend. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just super fun to actually smell like super old, obscure candles from BBW's like golden era test store heyday, like Little Valadier era, just snatched. So much fun to actually be able to smell that one. So thank you for the friend for like introducing the Cedarwood Trail into my life, even if it is for a brief moment. So that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what candles you are getting for this like crazy unprecedented BOGO sale deal, like crazy. And we're just looking forward to Pink Petal Tea Cake and that toasted pineapple marshmallow, is that what it is? And give us all those blends. And then that peppered plum collection has finally surfaced in Atlanta test stores, so that should be trickling into regular stores here soon as well. So a lot of more newness to look forward to. And then the fall Summer 3 list has already been released as well, so we're all ready for that fall, even though Pumpkin Peanut Brittle is not on the list, sadly, but it is what it is. We'll still look forward to the other new stuff, like there's like coffee and whiskey and all this other crazy stuff. So that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.